Hello. How are you guys tonight? Let me go out of here. Okay. Woohoo! Here we are again.
What's cracking, everybody?
I may want to fix all that.
Where do I need to be?
Want to do. However you want to do on you. I got me.
Yep, I'm good.
So you just put it on you.
Oh, look at that. My baby, she's got it going on. Hey, guys, welcome to the show Between the Ribs with Jonathan Morris and the beautiful bride, always by my side.
Hi, baby.
What up, girl? Girl, you look
Don't
good.
worry about this. It's because of the thing they're seeing that.
That's me right there.
That's you. They're seeing that.
Oh, they're seeing you too, huh? Got that camera on. We're getting all the technical difficulties worked out, but our second successful live show, it's a success already because we're here, we're alive. Glory to God, our Father in heaven, for bringing this to us. Between the Ribs, brought to you by Morris Family Farms Organic Meats, also by MorrisMafia.com. Check it out. I like to get that out of the way first. Support local. If you can't get them organic meats, Morris Family Farms, find a local butcher with dirty hands and a clean soul in your listening area, wherever you're at. But we ship all over the country. 407-402-5686. So if you don't have somebody, get somebody.
Yay!
What up, Axel? All right, we got to get right out the gate with this. Mama sent me a story and she's like, can we please cover this? The title of this is What in the Hades is Wrong with People? She sent me this story of a man who, and I'm not going to say his name because he's a scumbag. He was arrested in a park. So there's
no way that
it's real.
He was being just not. All
right, don't ruin the story. Don't ruin the story. Let me tell the story and then you can put your 2 cents in. So the dude's in a public park. He's in a trail. So imagine a big park, and then there's trees here, like in a circle around the park, and then there's wooded area back here. They have a trail, a nice, clean, mowed grass walking trail around the park for people. He's stationed just outside the play area on the back side of the circle by the trees. He's in a lawn chair. Cat is laid back, buck naked, no clothes on. He's got a sheet, like a towel over his eyes, his tallywhacker, his pee-pee, because we're a family show, got a chain wrapped around it. The chain is going to a stick. On said stick is a sign that reads, please, oh, I don't want to mess this up. Please, what did it say? Oh, please feel free to investigate gently.
This is real. Like this story is real. I could not believe, I can't believe people are retarded.
What's wrong with people?
What is wrong?
Now, when the cops showed up, because obviously somebody called the cops, when the cops come up and they approach the guy, they're like, hey, sir, what are you doing? He's like, what? I was sunbathing. When's it against the law to sunbathe? And the cop's like, dude, you got your wrapped in a chain with a sign that says, please feel free to investigate gently. And your eyes are blindfolded. And you're laid back in a lawn chair. You're sunbathing. And then he goes, are you out here to meet people? Because we're having a lot of calls and complaints about, so this is something that's going on in this park.
Yeah.
Where people are going to the backside of the woods for hookups. They're tweeting, texting, sexting, whatever they do online. And this is the spot, be like, hey, meet a stranger in the park. Well, knock it off real quick.
Right.
So cats out there just all willy-nilly. They arrested him, which they should have.
Yeah.
So fantastic. Hey, you know what they say? If it works, or if it works if you work it. That's from the rehab. They tried to get me to go to rehab, but I said, no.
Okay. So what? All right. So just think of the logic. So, man, it's a nice day. I think I'm going to lay out here by the river.
I want to get my tallywhacker played with.
I want to maybe tempt somebody to touch my wiener. So I'm going to put a chain on it.
Like I'm fishing.
And a fishing pole. And if I make the sign, maybe I'll get away with it because I'm blindfolded. I don't see them. I'm asking nicely.
Yeah. He had this all thought out. But here's what I don't understand. Somebody help me out in the comments. Please let me know. What's wrong with people? Like, the dude was at his house. Or maybe he was at work. Maybe he's riding around in his car. I don't know. Or in his van with no windows. I don't know. But he had to go get supplies. Right? So he had to gather up the chain.
Right.
He had to get a stick. He had to write the sign. So the whole time this is going on, homeboy never thought like, man, I probably shouldn't do this. This
Uh,
ain't gonna end well for me.
No, it is not going to.
Now, is this a problem that this is lagging up here? Because you're up, you look like
No,
you're
you're
looking for
fine.
No, this over here.
Yeah, you don't have to.
People
worry
ain't
about
seeing
that.
that.
No.
It looks
they're
like
seeing-
it's
they're
wait,
seeing
hang
you.
on. Jesus. That's you. Y'all wait.
They're seeing you. I
Yes, you are.
actually think I'm
Go
going to take me off. Hold on, guys, real quick. I'm going to have all Jonathan right
They
now.
want to see you.
Oh, they'll see me. We went to kick
They
from
wanna see
studio,
you.
kick guest.
Oh, she just kicked herself out of the studio.
Oh, it kicked me out of here too. That's okay.
Well, get back in, because
I'm
now all
gonna
they're going to see is your shoulder, your
That's all right.
arm.
This is what they saw last time. I'm fixing to sign back on. We're still learning. We had still had a good show last
They say it works if you work it. And boy, President Trump is working it. There's a lot to do, and he's doing it. Egg prices are coming down. They're taking a turn, guys. And I know the liberal crazy left are like, oh, he should on day one. He should on day one. That's all they can say right now. For everybody that I'm talking to about, hey, man, they're finally coming down. Secretary Rollins has her 5-point, strategic plan going. Part of it I don't like. I really don't like importing anything, but that's part of her plan. I think that's going to come back to bite us in the butt. Mental sickness. Yes, Axel, the cat's mentally sick.
Yeah. for
Hey,
real.
Axel, you want to go sunbathe tomorrow with me? You write the signs, I'll get the chains. What is wrong? So now that the eggs are starting to drop, instead of them saying, oh, thank the Lord, or thank President Trump, or thank Secretary Rollins, eggs have come down. Now, eggs are still too high, and they're going to be too high for a while.
Right.
But instead of being able to say thank you, an attitude of gratitude, they have to find something to complain about. Because I'm really starting to believe that part of their deal, we're going to talk about this in other facts. I showed Mama my pregame notes. And we did a quick pregame meeting real quick. And she's like, you're going to get all that in an hour? I was like, I'm going to try to. So listen fast. I'm going to talk fast, digest it slowly. But the video will be posted. You can go back and watch it later if you missed something. But eggs have plummeted. They plummeted in a matter of days. So it took 45, 48, 9 days to start coming down because supply and demand and life cycle exchange and starting to introduce imported eggs and bringing eggs into the market, financial assistance to some of the farmers so they can pay their bills, so they can start to lower a few of their selling points even before the increased sales matches to them, right? I don't really agree with subsidies, but sometimes you find yourself in a dirty bed, you got to wash the sheets and remake the bed. And that's kind of where we're at, all right? So prices are coming down. Now they're down like $2.25, $2.35. In some areas, they're down $2.80 a carton.
Heck yeah.
They're in the $4 range now. They were as high as $8.50 in some markets. And I know everybody's market's different. I have one cat be like, my eggs didn't win over $5.99. Well, congratulations, buddy. I'm glad your eggs didn't win over $5.99. These are commodity eggs, all right? Just like the regular old out of an egg house, mass produced. So it doesn't really affect some of the clean, natural, done the right way egg farms. They're still kind of sucking hind teeth, if you will, but they will adjust as they can adjust. But egg prices are coming down. They're getting cheaper. But manipulation through marketing, remember, that's kind of my thing. And Forbes and NPR both have done some stories. And the angle on their story really bothers me because instead of complimenting or bringing attention to, hey, eggs are getting a little bit cheaper, they're coming down, there's a little bit of a relief coming, they focus on the wholesale aspect of it, and they talk about how the wholesale market,
Oh, sorry.
how the
Sorry.
you
I
did
was
that
trying to
last
find
week.
you. I was trying to find you to share you.
Oh, they're talking about how the wholesale market has come down, but the retailers aren't passing it on to the consumers yet. And it's one of those things where it's almost like the wage war, where they manipulate stories. They take facts from a story and they pull out this fact or that fact, and they present it to the American people in a way to create anger, discord, and hate, and also resentment. If you want to go through the whole list of emotional feelings that people start to have for these companies, whether or not they work for the company or they're purchasing from the company. It's almost a way to create a victim mentality. So they don't talk about the fact that when the egg crisis hit at the peak of bird flu, we're going to put that in quotations because it was a pandemic, just like COVID was. It was planned. All right. They attacked the cheapest known food source. of our protein source out there because they knew that almost every American, even vegetarians and some vegan types, still eat eggs. All right, maybe not vegetarians, maybe just vegans. I don't know. I can't keep up with all of it, but they attacked that on purpose. All right, and they did it going into the election cycle, just like they do it with gas. It's just manipulation. So instead of congratulating and focusing on the drop and the money going to the consumers and savings, they want to tell you about how they're robbing you, they're price gouging you, and the prices should already be lower, but the retailers are holding back. But what they failed to mention is that when all this happened on day one, there's a thing in business called replacement value or replacement cost. And when grocery stores across the land were selling eggs anywhere from $1.85, $3.15, $3.45, whatever they were in your market, overnight, when they had to buy new eggs, replace those eggs to put out on the shelf, they doubled and tripled in price. So they took a beating on the replacement cost of eggs. They didn't make enough on the eggs they sold to replace the eggs, but they still had to buy them and replace them so consumers would have them to purchase.
And I think a lot of people don't understand that part. Like you had to explain it to me, like we own our business. And I was like, as soon as things go down, I want to give you guys, I immediately bring it down $10 a pound. I want to do it right then. But it's like, we lost so much money. Well, plus we're nice in the beginning that we need a little bit to balance out. So we're not killing ourselves.
Right.
And you will kill yourself. You'll close your business.
And you have to cost average. They don't tell you all that. And maybe they should teach this kind of stuff in schools. So even people that don't go out and try to own their own businesses, they can see, they can understand and see what it's like. But they don't want them to have an appreciation, and they don't want this to flow. I actually, let me pause for a minute. I saw this story about this cat. He was on maybe Instagram, and he's doing a video from his car, and he's got this rant going on about how much longer will we live in this insanity? How much longer will this insanity continue to go on? And he starts taking you through graduating from school and working for somebody and how you work 40 to 50 years and then the life expectancy and when you die. And the whole premise of his conversation is that they need to rise up, people, regular people, because I don't think business owners are regular. There's something wrong with business owners. Mentally, you got to be unstable to go out and risk everything every day to try to have a business. Because it's not, nothing's guaranteed, but all your bills are guaranteed. You still got to pay everything. I'm not complaining. I love what we do. But he was talking about there is no American dream for working people. The working people are building somebody else's dream, making somebody else rich, fulfilling somebody else's desires, and basically it's paid for slavery. Let me know what you think about this. That it's paid for slavery, that you got to fight and argue to get raises. It's hard to live. The owners of companies are just living this great lifestyle, and you sacrifice 30, 40, 50 years of your life. And then when you do retire, you're too old and sick, and all of your kids and your family and friends are all grown up. So there is no quality of life for you to even enjoy what you worked your life away for. So I commented back, I don't know this guy. I commented back, why don't you go grab a big set of balls and start your own business? And then I put ... Oh, wait, that's not freedom either. Because you got to be a slave to something, unfortunately. And you either working and tilling away at it, or you're in your house with no money and you can't go do anything. And you probably wouldn't even keep your house, and you got to have money to build, right? So this all started after the Industrial Revolution, when they convinced people to leave their farms and countrysides and lands and open towns and come into the big city. And we built the prisons we live in. But how do you feel about that? Like, when you used to work, you still work, but when you used to work for a paycheck, did you feel like, oh my gosh, all I'm doing is working for this guy, and there was no appreciation value? No, like, oh, I got a check, I got paid today. Do you remember those days? It's been a long time.
Yeah, but
been self-employed for a long
you're
time.
right.
Now.
Like, yeah. I mean, I remember. I remember I worked to get paid. You know what I mean? Really? I thought
said, open your eyes.
Oh, it's like I don't have clothes.
Open your eyes.
I really worked to get paid. I would work, and then when I didn't want to get paid, I wouldn't work. You know, I
got my own money.
I don't think I
She make her own money.
complained. I don't think I complained until I was
Working for me?
maybe yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Because it's harder. I wish we could work for a paycheck. I wish that, yes, because there's so much more that comes along with it. Only it's, to me, we put 110, 30 million% in.
Oh yeah, the cat was complaining about a 50-hour work week. And I was like thinking to myself, dude, we work 50 hours by Wednesday.
Yeah,
Sometimes by Tuesday.
our whole life
You know?
is wrapped around work because we have to.
Yes,
There is
yeah.
nobody giving us a paycheck. We
Farming,
have to.
consuming. I just got back from a trip to Georgia running pigs. So there's a lot that goes into it. And again, I think every aspect of our life is tied up in manipulation. And they tell us who to hate. They tell us who to fight. They tell us who to argue. If you work for somebody, they tell you to resent that person. And they're beating you down and paying you the bare minimums. Aurora, listen, Mama.
Go ahead.
They tell you, you know, that it ain't, nothing's ever good enough. If you own your own business, they tell you about your tax bracket and other people's tax bracket. It never ends. But back to eggs. NPR has a statement out. They have a warning they want you to know.
Who?
NPR.
Why?
They say, you need to know that egg prices may soon be where they need to be if bird flu stays at bay. All of a sudden, bird flu's gone. It's at bay right now. It just magically happens. Just all of a
I
sudden,
still don't get how we had eggs, only eggs were affected, but we got plenty of chicken to eat.
yeah, most people with common sense also don't understand that either. Only the dummies, the ones that get spoon-fed like a baby, and they only eat what they're told to eat by CNN and NBS, NBC, and NPR, and all these other outlets. But yeah, bird flu didn't affect turkeys. It didn't affect meat chickens. It didn't affect duck or quail or geese or anything else. It just simply affected the laying eggs.
Sorry, baby.
Yeah, you messed me all
I
up here.
did not move your page.
What's that?
Didn't move your page.
Trying to see this thing. Oh, they also warn against price gouging. And then Rollins put her plan together.
Okay.
Her 5-point strategic plan.
Who is one? Who's
Secretary Rollins. She's the Trump's new
She's the
Secretary
new
of
one.
Agriculture.
She's a good one, right?
Yeah, she's a
Okay.
lawyer. She doesn't have much agriculture background, but she's doing a good job so far. I'm not really fond of importing eggs. She does put down there that they're going to import eggs as long as they meet the standards of the USDA and of American standards, where that's yet to be determined. She also says that as the U.S. market increases and the U.S. farmers add to production, that they'll reduce the amount of eggs that they're importing from Turkey. I just don't think that once the toothpaste is out of the tube and the egg market is fully saturated, that'll happen. I don't see that happening, but maybe it will. I'll stay hopeful. Biosecurity measures, helping farmers get back on their feet with the flocks they've lost it. This is what I think is pretty cool, though. They created a budget to study vaccines and treatments for the birds, but also therapeutics. So looking at it as a way to, instead of just trying to shoot up animals or put something in the feed, because a lot of commercial growers or commercial places, they put stuff in the feed. So we're going to get to mislabeling markets after, I don't know, hit about 25 minutes or so. But there's this thing out, like we don't inject our animals with anything. We never inject them, right? If somebody says that to you right out the gate, you need to ask yourself why they're telling you that. And I was having a conversation with a guy about labels are so important, and you got to read a label and you got to understand what's on the label. But more importantly, you have to understand what's not on the label. So if they write a label in such a way that you're like, wow, look at that label, you need to ask yourself, well, what did they leave off the label? Because this is too good. This label's too good. What is it? Why'd they leave something out? And be able to understand sentence structure and life cycle structure of an animal. So a lot of these places that are now preaching this, we don't use any injections. Okay. Why'd you tell me that? Oh, they told you that because they're lying to your face. Yes, they're not injecting the animals with antibiotics or steroids or growth hormones, but it's being applied to the feed. So they're feeding it to the animal, which is not probably, exactly worse. So an injection has a life cycle time, right? And they call it like the half lifetime. So after so many hours of a shot, that's why you have to take antibiotics so many days in a row when you're sick. So medicine only has a certain time span, and then it starts to depreciate as it dies in your system, or it dissolves in your system. But so if you give an animal a shot, it works for a time period. And then you have to give them another shot and another shot. And that's just kind of how things work, right? It's kind of like dewormer. You got to deworm based on the life of worms. But if you're feeding it to them every day, now you never have to inject them. And you can put that on your label that we don't inject our animals with anything because they're misleading you. They're still giving them hormones and vaccines. They're just having it ground up, powderized, and put into the feed. So be careful. But I am cool that Rollins wants to look at therapeutic health alternatives, how to build healthier herds or flocks of birds so that the birds are not susceptible to bird flu and other things that can affect them. So thank God. I'll say thank God, and God's good. But President Trump and his staff, they're doing it. They're working. So we got the eggs, right? Couple of the promises right out of the gate. We got eggs down. No, they weren't down on day one, but before the 2-month mark, they're coming down drastically, and they're going to continue to drop. All right. Retailers, don't price gouge. So honest eggs for an honest price. What about this Ukraine debacle?
I don't know.
Because there's a lot going on with it. And I don't want to bore you with all the details. I'm sure every smarter person that has a show besides me is talking about it. But a couple keynotes I wanted to talk about. There was an agreement made by Bush and Baker and Gorbachev. Where is this? Let me see here. It was, and the famous quote, now this right here is from the National Security Archives, right? And remember, I told you this, due to the manipulation in media on both sides, Republican, Democrat, liberal, all outlets have an agenda. You've got to start going to independent research. What's the word? What am I looking for? Articles?
Yeah, like Doug, you talked about last week, like Doug, Daddy did.
Well, not just Doug Daddy Go. That's like a search engine. But I'm talking about, like, if you're looking up logistics, go to a logistics report where the people that write, all they write about is logistics. If you're looking at trade, go to industries that only work on trade. If you want agriculture, go to farm outlets that only report on farm.
Right.
Okay? So National Security Archives, 40 years, all right, of a Freedom Information Act. And they got all this stuff you can look up. But you can go through here, and I'm scrolling through my phone, right? Through here. And it goes all the way back to 1989 into 1990, where they met in Brussels, and you had Geshner, Kohl, Baker, Gates, Bush, Mitterrand, Thatcher, Major, Warner, all these people that met, and they met for one reason, for peace. Remember the famous quote, Mr. Gorbachev, tear that wall down.
Yeah.
And then Bush said, I'm not going to dance on the wall at the risk of lack of freedom for the Soviet Union and or Russia.
Can I put a little fun fact there?
Yes.
There was the last astronaut that stayed in space 311 days was the guy who went up when it was the Soviet Union. Everything was happening. They forgot about him. Honestly, the Soviet Union went down. There was no country to take him. It collapsed, and they had to go back up and get him, and it was Russia.
Really? Now he's back up there again?
No, he went up again. He's not there now, but
the one that just came back.
Yes.
So wait a minute. Wait. Hold the phone. Hey, you saw my blinker. We're taking a hard left turn.
I just saw that because I was like, how many days could people stay in space? So I looked it up, and it was like in 1989, was it?
Yeah.
And when it said
well, he didn't collapse at 89,
he was from the Soviet Union. He was an astronaut. He
Call
went up into space. Oh God, I have my phone up there, but
right.
He was up there, and he didn't know what was going on. He had no clue. He's up in the air back in the 80s.
Right, 90s.
And yeah, no, it was 89.
Well, they didn't collapse until like 93.
No, it was 89.
It maybe when he went up.
I'm telling you.
All right, look it up. Do your research.
I will. But I promise you. And then when he came, nobody went to go get him. And that's the reason why he couldn't come back down, because
there was no country to claim him.
There was no country to claim him.
So they got him. Now he goes up again and they leave him on there for 9 months.
I don't think it was this one. He went up, I think he went up.
I'm
with
like,
the
that
people who
cat would be so old.
I think he went up with the people who traded because 4 people went back up. 2 came back down.
We're talking about a 35-year exchange. Cat would be like 70.
No, he was young.
Russian lieutenant.
I will.
Do I like the weather, bud?
What are you doing?
Hey, stay on my chat, man.
You leave him alone.
Y'all be talking to each other. Anyways, do we have time? We don't have time to get into this astronaut debacle.
I don't know. I'm very interested in it because
What do y'all think? Tell us what you think.
I want to know what you guys think. So I thought they were supposed to be there. I never thought I knew
They
that
were,
there was,
but not that long.
I didn't. I thought they were happy, like they were in Santa hats at
They were getting
Christmas.
paid. We're gonna do
She's worth millions.
$5
million.
The day after she got home.
It was only worth 300,000, which is a lot.
The day after she got home.
5.
Her net worth, they paid that chick to shut up.
Well, she did. Lily was saying she looked scared to talk.
Yes, she looked scared to be alive. Listen, when you're in space that long, your bone mass starts to deteriorate, your muscle mass starts to deteriorate, your cognitive memory starts to fade. Right? The lack of gravity on your body does different things to your body. You start to decompose.
I didn't know that either. I had no idea. I know that they have to do certain exercises up there.
Yes.
But I guess that wouldn't be the same either.
There's a story out right now that the astronauts were saying, we could have come home anytime we wanted to. We wanted to stay up here. We wanted to be here 9 months. We don't care about the Boeing rocket ship and all the stuff that's going on. We were cool.
That's a lie.
It is a lie.
That's a lie. You would want to, could you imagine going crazy one day? I just want to go home. You can't open a door. You can't slam it. You can't.
So yesterday on the Shayna Burke show, while we were on the Shayna Burke show, we were watching the rescue mission. We're watching the Dragon land. They got it out of the water, out of the Gulf of America.
At the Gulf of America. That was the first landing, right?
Right off the coast of Tallahassee. Got it up on the boat. They opened it up. They had to physically help these people out and put them into mobility, like stretchers that you can kind of sit up on.
Like the skeleton bride.
Yes.
Bless her heart.
Yes. But yet they now are saying how happy they were, how great everything was, that they were okay.
Oh, yeah.
Right. But here, I wasn't going to talk about this yet because I didn't have all the facts.
I'm sorry.
But I got enough facts to talk about it. This is why you should be disgusted with these left crazy-sided Democrats. And not all Democrats are crazy, but these left extremists, because they could have come home under Biden's administration. Joe Biden had the power and the authority to supersede any regulation and the EPA and all the study and all the tests, and he could have brought those astronauts home. And there was one cosmonaut, how do you pronounce it? Not cosmetologist, but cosmonaut, the Russian guy. They could have brought them home, but they didn't want any victory or good media for Elon Musk, because Elon Musk had switched sides. He was no longer a Democrat at this point. He was already on the Trump bandwagon and supporting Trump. So Elon Musk actually asked three times. He asked for authorization to go up there and get these people and bring them back. He was denied 3 times by the Biden administration.
I don't understand that.
Because they're sick.
Talked about it.
No, because CNN and NBC and ABC and Fox and Joy Reid and all these libtards.
But nobody would fight like I'm fighting for you to change little boys, girls and boys sexes. But we have Americans up in space that can't come home. Silence?
All right, well, let me ask you this. And we talk about a lot of stuff. Did you know about it?
No, I knew they were in space, but I thought they were happy.
Did you know they would have been up there for 9 months?
No.
And they couldn't get back?
No.
Did you know about the Boeing rocket that I don't know if it exploded or got on fire or burnt?
That's damaged or something.
Right? And they couldn't send another one back up to get them?
No, I knew.
Did you know that Elon Musk asked 3 times to go get and rescue these people?
That's what I
Because they don't want you to know. They want you to know egg prices are high. They want you to know that fascist, white supremacist white people don't want boys playing a girls' sports. They want you to focus on Black History Month. Nothing wrong with Black History Month, but they want you to know it's February Black History Month. And they want you to know it's Women's History Month. And they want you to know that there's a judge trying to keep our country alive and they're holding Trump accountable. They don't want you to know that. So they don't tell you that. They don't put it in your face. And now that they can't avoid it and can't hide it, and that was the other thing that was kind of sick. CNN they were the last ones yesterday to even start broadcasting it. It was almost like, quote me if I'm wrong, somebody correct me. But my take is it was almost like CNN was on purpose not broadcasting any coverage of it, hoping something went wrong bad. So they could be out breaking news. Elon Musk fumbles the recovery of astronauts in a cosmonaut. What? You know what I'm saying?
Cosmonaut.
Cosmonaut. What actually say I can't see that small.
Can you only imagine your wife goes up in space, supposed to be for 8 days, and doesn't make it back for 9 months?
Actually, I go crazy. I would go back crap crazy.
Oh,
I gotta have my goodness every night, sometimes twice.
Stop it.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I love you.
Like pop out of sailor down, baby.
Aww.
My bad. We got kids in there. This is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
It is.
Give us a clap. Let the people know you're
Come
here.
on. Thank you.
Say hello to the people from the audience.
Come on, Alyssa.
We're giving away prizes in the audience tonight. You can win a ticket. You can win a ticket.
To
Prize-
fold the Morris's laundry.
Probably not until April, but when the live studio audience is built, you will be able to partake in the shows.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
It is going to be awesome. That's why I built the studio interactive. That's why it's called.
With this,
That's why it's called an interactive studio.
I can invite guests, and they come on just like I was on there.
You can invite somebody right now.
Yep.
right
Alyssa,
now.
what's your?
Don't ask anybody.
Come on, let me
We
invite.
got a
you.
show we're trying to do.
Can I invite you?
Huh?
Let me invite
She's not
you.
here. She's in the show. So the Ukraine debacle, I hate calling it a war because this was, and I know people get mad about this, and I don't care anymore. I told this story about my grandpa and his mountain, and how my grandpa, aka the Soviet Union, his mountain, the territory, me, aka Putin, all right, that if somebody would have came up to the mountain, and somebody from like different mountains around my grandpa's mountain would have came and be like, hey man, we all agreed and voted that we're gonna take part of your mountain because it's not fair that you have all that mountain, and we're gonna give it to this mountain over here. And then we all got destroyed. But I survived. I would vow to everybody in the mountain area, at some point when I get big enough and strong enough, I'm getting my grandpa's land back. Now, I'm not excusing the behavior of a dictator. I'm not condoning it. But they're both dictators. Both Zelensky and Putin have state-run media only.
Yep.
They both cancel elections from their opposition. They both have outlawed Christianity. They both arrest and detain people that oppose them. So why are we arguing and fighting over two dictators, first of all? It'd probably be best for us to let them destroy each other, and then we just take the leftovers.
Yeah.
Right? Pillage the property, pillage the land,
Yeah.
get all the minerals, everything. So all these phone calls and agreements are going on. But here's what happened. Under Joe Biden, Manchin was sent over there to tell Ukraine, because Ukraine had a peace treaty signed with Russia. Tell Zelensky, hey, we got you. We're going to back you. Don't turn in the treaty. Don't agree to it. Let's fight, fight, fight. Let's fight. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about all the people that are dying. Don't worry about all the Ukrainians. We don't want this, because it did not align with Joe Biden and Barack Obama and Bill Clinton and all the people that are in power. BlackRock, all right? Larry Fink. Stop saying Elon Musk until you say Larry Fink 100 times. Knock on the door. Who is it? Larry Fink. I own everything. I own the guy that built the door. I own the guy that built your house. I own it all. But they're worried about Elon Musk.
Mr.
Fink. So there was a famous quote that you can look up in the archives that said, not an inch to the east. Not an inch.
Not an inch.
America and the European allies all agreed to respect the power of Russia, the USSR, Soviet Union. We would give them their space. We would not be on their front doorstep. Could you imagine if my neighbor, think about your neighbor. Do you know your neighbor? I know my neighbor. Do you know your neighbor? Yes, I know my neighbor. But imagine if your neighbor didn't respect property lines. And when you open the front door of your house, Your neighbor was right there. Would you not push back? Would you be like, hey, whoa, you come too far. Not only get back to the property line, but actually, I can't trust you on the property line no more. I need a buffer. Give me some space. Give me 3 feet. That's what's going on a much larger scale, but that's what's going on. NATO, through Ukraine, has advanced onto Russia's front door, right on their doorstep. We violated the Warsaw Pact. We violated the NATO something treaty, whatever that treaty was, that we would not advance NATO's territory into Russian area, we would not put missiles on Russia's border. We would not put troops on their border. We also agreed that we would let Ukraine into NATO because by doing that, you put NATO on the front door of Russia. We agreed to all that. Our president, other leaders, world leaders, secretaries of there was a big meeting, a big group in Brussels that got together and agreed to all this. And now under Biden in 2020, all of it was broken. And what did we expect Russia to do? And all these liberal, crazy left people running around hollering and screaming. You're hollering and screaming over 2 dictators. First of all, Zelensky, but I know why they like him now. Because he's a cross-dressing, liberal, crazy person, and he comes from theater. No, he does. He comes from theater.
Yeah, I've seen him dancing.
He used to dance for Putin.
It is very,
I don't know what's worse. Him dancing for Putin or Putin having him dance for him.
I don't know.
It's both creepy, if you ask me.
Very creepy.
So an agreement was made, an agreement was broken. And now we have ourselves here. Trump had a very good phone call with both of them. Shows a lot of good things to come. Now, Trump is Putin's demands are really, really high. But when you think about his demands, he's just trying to secure his people, his land, his territory, his agenda, just like we would. I mean, imagine if China took over Alaska. Just imagine. Imagine if China made a treaty with Alaska or with Canada and be like, hey, listen, how about we join forces as an ally and we put a military base at Niagara Falls? We're not going to go into America. We're just going to set up at Niagara Falls, just right there next to the water, so the people can see us from the American side and we can wave to them and they can wave back. Do you understand the response that we would have as a nation? It's all hypocritical. Is that right? Hypocritical?
Yeah.
It's all hypocritical. It's all a bunch of crap. And from the party of, freedom and exclusiveness and everybody's invited, they sure do want to push up on Putin's door. And here's why. The reason we're battling and we're arguing over 2 dictators is because one dictator has tucked tail and agreed to funnel money for the Democratic Party and the liberal left and help push their agenda through media and propagation. The other dictator said, and rotate. Sit on his horse and rotate. I ain't bound to y'all. I'm a dictator. I'm the Russian boss. I run my stuff. So if Zelensky had not cowered down to NATO, the World WHO, all these crazy outlets, the European allies, and to Joe Biden and to Obama, we wouldn't be backing him either. So stop being manipulated over this debacle.
Yeah.
So peace is on the border. Peace is on the horizon. Long-term peace is yet to be seen, but there's progress being made. And coined the phrase that will go down in history forever. Turns out all we needed was a new president.
Need to put that on a coin.
It was coined. The phrase was coined. I had somebody reach out in one of my videos, and they're like, hey, in your next show, can you please go over the grass-fed, grass-finished label and break it down for us a little bit? So we're going to kind of move into a little bit of farming for the last 20 minutes or so. Also, you ain't going on in the shop. You'll tell people about Easter's coming up on the horizon.
Yeah, we got
Resurrection Sunday.
Yeah, leg of lamb.
Oh, Tim, I got your lamb chops, Tim. You better come get them.
We'll have plenty of asparagus, we'll have plenty of roast, we'll have plenty of tenderloins, we'll have plenty of anything you need. I haven't nailed down Easter sales, but I should have that done by the end of the week.
Yeah,
But please follow us on Organic Meats.
they
from
nailed
Morris
our
Family
Savior down.
Farms. Huh?
They nailed down our Savior. But he rose up from the grave. He rose. That's how we celebrate Resurrection Sunday, not Easter like the rest of y'all heathens.
Wow.
You should look it up.
Why you can't, you get more.
Oh, I gotta
value
love
than
you.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, I just found out. I don't mean to be rude to anybody or mean to anybody, but man, if you study the goddess Esther and how Resurrection Sunday weekend has been taken and manipulated into a very, let's just call it not holy worship and partaking of festivals, you may want to be careful. I'm just saying this because I love you and I care about you, and I don't want you or your family to be partaking in something that God said I will spit you out of my mouth. I learned about Christmas too. We're not going to wreck your life tonight telling you about that. Nimrod and Nimrod's son and the Christmas tree and the evergreen. Oh boy, it'll wreck your world. I'm not sure what we're doing here in the Morris family household this December. I haven't figured out how to bring it to my mama yet, but we'll get there. And as we learn, we'll teach you, because my people will perish by lack of vision. That's what our Father in heaven said. So as I see things, I want to share them with you. But I want to share with this because I started doing a little bit of digging, and I tell people this all the time. It's quite humorous that you can go to the USDA's website and you can see the hypocrisy, and you can see the double standard, and you can see the double talk about organic and what is organic and what isn't organic, and what's prohibited and what's allowed and what's not allowed, but what is allowed, but what isn't allowed, and what is prohibited, but what isn't prohibited. And it just one big circle jerk. But first, the grass-fed, grass-finished label. Again, when you're reading labels in grocery stores, and that's one of the reasons, and I know we get a lot of complaints about it, that at our store, Organic Meats, Morris Family Farms, we're not big on labels. We got meat out, we got vegetables out, and we're going to sell it to you because I don't want you to buy because of a label. I want you to buy because of a practice. The practice of the grower, the practice of the farmer, the practice of the producer, provider, procurer of what you're eating. And we have to learn to get away from labels and get into a relationship with someone who is either growing it, procuring it, packing it, picking it, whatever words you want to use, because that's where the good stuff is found. If you put your trust in labels, that's like putting your trust in the law, and the law will send you straight to hell. That's a little biblical reference there. So on the grass-fed, grass-finished label, they put two things on the label. They put grass-fed and they put grass-finished. They do that on purpose because they don't want you to think about the middle. So in 99% of calf-cow operations, and that's what they're called, in Florida, a lot of people don't know this, Florida is the largest calf-cow operated state in the union, in these great United States of America. We're not known for it because we don't have feed lots and finishing lots. So Texas, Kansas, even up in Chicago, believe it or not, out in the farm country, not in the city, Don Miller be like, Chicago ain't got no cows. Well, they do out in the country areas, and they do have feedlots, and they do have packing facilities. Okay, so they're known for beef, for meat, because they're the ones that finish it. And the way this was all orchestrated, and the Interstate Compact Act really kind of sealed the deal so it would work. Florida has a lot of green grass grazing land, but the grass isn't great. It's terrible. There's too much water. We don't have enough selenium in our soil. We're lacking all kind of macronutrients. Our grass is just grass. It's like just, hey, I ate some fiber today. I just got some substance to keep me alive. The land out west, the feed out west, where it's all grown, they don't have so far to truck it. So that's right there in the same areas of the feedlots. So cows are born here in Florida. They get up to 450, 500, 600 pounds, whatever the feedlots are asking for. They load them on wagons. There's a place in Alabama that takes a lot out by Troy. And then if you go straight out 10, you get out to Texas, Amarillo. I'm not going to name all the places, but there's miles and miles and miles of feedlots. So that's why those states are known for beef. Now, what they've started doing in the not so distant past here recently, they started taking 10, 20 acres of open grassland and fencing it all in, either across from the feedlot or behind the feedlot or a couple miles from the feedlot. And they take these cows off a pasture because most cows are born out on a farm somewhere, and they're grazing. They're not really eating a bunch of grass because they're sucking on their mom's teeth. They're milking on their mom. And when they wean them off the mom and they get them established, they put them on a wagon, send them out west, and then they are just force fed, just fed. Antibiotics, steroids, growth hormones, everything. They got it down pat. It's like a scientific operation. It's just precise. And they bring cows in and they put 3, 4, 5 pounds a day on a cow, get them up to 1,700, 1,800 pounds, get them to the slaughterhouse and get them killed. Well, now because there's a demand for grass from the consumers, they have found a way to manipulate the market, to manipulate the label. So they take these cows after being on the feedlot for 5.5 months. So let's say the feedlot process is 7 months. So 6 to 6.5 months, they're on dirt, on the feedlot, being force fed. The last 20 days, 15 days, they take them off there. They put them out on walking around on grass. So yeah, of course, the cow see grass and it eats a little bit. But you gotta realize, we're creatures of habit. All of us are. So when you have an animal that has had the feed coming down the chute for 6 months, it doesn't know how to go out and get its own feed. And it doesn't want to. So it'll still stand at the trough, even though there's 15 acres of grass, and it'll eat all the feed out of the trough. Now, yes, it may go out and eat a little bit of green grass, but it's not out there gorging itself, raising itself on grass because it is so used to being force-fed and having that sweet feed right there. It'd be like giving your kids Snicker bars every day. And then after 6, 7 months of Snicker bars, you tell them, hey, tomorrow night you're eating broccoli. That kid will starve. He'll wait you out trying to get to the broccoli. Trying to get back to a Snicker bar because he doesn't need the broccoli because he's been eating Snicker bars and he doesn't have the desire for that. All right. So that's the same way cows work. So they put these cows out for 15, 20 days on grass, and legally they're allowed to put grass fed, grass finished on the label. They don't tell you about the middle. So shopping at the grocery store, I don't know what to tell you because we have done so much label research. You can go back Between the Ribs, Jonathan Morris, on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, even also TikTok, and look at all the stories we've done about all the fake labels. So I don't know what to tell you other than find a farmer that can drive you to a field and show you, hey, there are the cows. They're walking around on grass. They're eating. And yes, cows still need supplementation. They still need energy. So 100% just green growing grass is not a reality, to be honest with you. But a free choice plan where the cows can get supplements, but they can also get all the grass they want and some rolled hay. That works out really good. All right, so don't be misled by grass-fed, grass-finished. I also want to talk about some organic labels real quick and the debauchery of the organic label, straight out of the organic USDA website.
Uh-oh.
This is what they open with, just so we're clear. The USDA organic label doesn't mean pesticide-free, but rather allows for the use of a national list of allowed and prohibited substances, including some natural. BT, which they wrote a song about it. Farmers, farmers, save our children, right? They poured paradise and put up a parking lot, right? Let the bees live, say your BT. Well, BT, because it's a natural derivative from the earth, it's on the organic list as an approved pesticide because it derives from the earth naturally. So the fact that high volumes of it and the fact that it is in GMO corn, it's still on the organic list. But GMO is not supposed to be organic because the corn was genetically altered, but yet the BT is organic. You see how we're going to start this circle of idiocracy? Prohibited pesticides, we all know them, arsenic, styrene. Now here's what's crazy. Tobacco dust is a dust from harvesting and drying tobacco. It's created in the air. That is an excellent pesticide. It kills bugs like nobody's business, but it's outlawed by the FDA. So therefore the USDA says it cannot be on the organic label. So right there, they violate their own standards that if it's naturally from the earth, it can be on the label, but this natural thing from the earth can't be on the label. But this other one, BT, can be on the label. All right. 100% organic. So let's get into some labels real quick. I thought this was fascinating.
Okay.
All right. If it says on the label 100% organic, the USDA says that it must maintain organic ingredients other than salt and water. Okay.
Right.
Now, if the label just says organic, so you pick something up, it says organic.
Right.
It only has to contain 95% of certified organic material. So they give them a 5% window. So you can put organic on something, and 5% of it does not have to be organic, as long as 95% of it is organic. Now, a half truth is a whole lie, correct?
Right.
You were drinking coffee. Can I have your coffee cup?
Yeah. There you go, sir.
This is coffee?
That's coffee.
This is coffee from 7-Eleven. I'm going to take the lid off. I got a dropper over here. All right, I got a dropper. How much poison can I put in here?
None.
No. This is 100% coffee.
Okay.
I want it to still be 95% coffee. I'm only going to add enough drops to be 95% poison. Is that okay?
No.
I didn't think it was okay. So 5% of non-organic means it's non-organic.
No.
It doesn't matter that they allow 95% organic compounds and ingredients. Once you apply 5% of poison, even though it's only on a ratio of 5%, it's still poison. It's no longer organic. All right, you ready for this one? And I've seen these labels.
Okay.
Like they got honey. I've seen the honey label that says made with organic,
Yes.
right? You know what made with organic means? 70%.
See, and that's why I had a lady come today,
Right?
and she's like, is there pesticide on this stuff? Like, how do you know where this comes from?
Uh-huh.
And I was like, because we know where it comes from.
Right.
That's the reason why we're a little different than
Right.
what your regular. She's like, well, how do I know that? I said, well, how do you know Publix knows where it's coming from?
Right.
And she was like, well, I don't know. She was like, that's why you have to trust me.
Yeah. And there's a misconception. And guys, I tell this to everybody. So please don't be like, what? I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
A pesticide is anything used to control pests. So anybody who says it's 100% pesticide free is lying to you. Unless it looks like, man, that's been ate up and stung up by stink bugs, and it looks like you never did put anything on it. But there are natural ways that you can use to control your pests without a complete eradication program and without poisoning your consumers. Okay? So be careful what you think about and what you believe, because some of it is not realistic. It's not in reality. The other thing is, the USDA controls the organic certifications, but a lot of places like China, different parts of Asia, Mexico, Japan, they don't allow USDA inspectors on their property, on their farms, in their countries. They have no authority because in the name, USDA, United States Department of Ag, it's not the Chinese Department of Ag. So we have to rely on independent contractors from other countries who are getting paid by these other countries. And now these other countries are selling us stuff, so they want us to buy it. So do you think they're allowing their contractors to be like, hey, hey, boss, hey, Mr. Ching Ching Tao, this isn't organic. You can't sell this to America. You're going to have to dump that whole barge. You can't sell it. No, they're stamping everything. Like that 365 label we told you about last week at Whole Foods. Whole Foods 365 organic is a sham. It is a 100% fake. Their California vegetable blend on the back says vegetables are grown and processed in China. But don't worry, we have independent contractors in China verifying that they're grown organically. And people eat that stuff up like the kids say, y'all ate that up. You ate that up. It's a bunch of crap. I wanted to get, here's a list of some major pesticides that are known, and I'm not going to go through the whole list, but I wanted to show you just boric acid. Now, earlier we talked about BT, and under the guidelines of so they know people, they know, first of all, the USDA knows, first of all, people are stupid and people highlight read. So they put BT, being a natural substance, at the top of their list, but directly underneath it, they put, but boric acid, because it's harmful to humans, is not allowed.
What?
They put that. Now, if you go down to page 87, under the list of major allowable organic farming pesticides, what does that say right there? Hang on. Oh, did I lose it? Right, where's boric acid? Boric acid.
Structural pest control, no direct contact with organic food or crops.
Okay. So they tell you in the beginning it's not allowed, but on page 87, they tell you it can be allowed as long as you spray it on the ground and the plant only absorbs it. You can't spray it on the leaf of the plant, but you can spray it on the ground, let the plant absorb it. Okay. The other thing I wanted to get into, because it blows my mind. The USDA's National Organic Program, it made a board that includes organic growers, handlers, retailers, environmentalists, scientists. It's all USDA accredited. They certify their agents. All right. Does organic mean pesticides? Simple answer is no. All right. The pesticides approved in organic farming are largely natural ones, though, you ready?
I'm ready.
Though a limited amount of synthetic substances are permitted.
Just limited?
A limited amount are permitted.
That's awesome.
Where did I see that at? There's something that I have to telling you this. Oh, also on their list now, petroleum.
Like petroleum jelly?
No, like petroleum, like oil. Bad, right?
Right.
Petroleum's bad. It's killing the planet, greenhouse, all the blah, blah, blah. But it's just been added to the USDA list as a way to control pests in vegetable farming.
Yes.
All right.
That's so crazy.
Where was this? Oh, I think it was under cows. Hang on. Okay. The USDA breaks it down. In organic crop production, non-synthetic natural substances are allowed. This is where it gets good.
Okay.
And we're going to wrap the show up in just a minute, but stay with me. This is where it gets good. This is from the USDA's breakdown page, right toward the back. It says they have three categories: organic crop production, organic livestock production, and organic handling production. They have three categories. You can look this up yourself. So inorganic crop, which is vegetable production, non-synthetic natural substances are allowed unless specifically prohibited. And synthetic substances are prohibited unless specifically allowed.
That's crazy.
No, did you hear what I just said? Natural substances are allowed unless specifically prohibited. Synthetic substances are prohibited unless specifically allowed. It's a circle of.
It gives a way out, way in, way out,
We
way in.
can do whatever we want. We can add everything we want to the organic label, and you, the American people, can suck it.
Yeah.
Because earlier it said synthetic substances are not prohibited. But here it says, unless they're specifically allowed. Under section code 205.601 and 602. In livestock production, non-synthetic natural substances are allowed unless specifically prohibited. Wait for it. And synthetic substances are prohibited unless specifically allowed.
It's a word game. It's a manipulation through marketing.
My people will perish due to lack of vision.
Yeah.
All I can do is show it to you. Now, people are like, well, then why should we buy from y'all? Why should we go to Organic Meats? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because we don't push labels down your throat. We don't take you around and be like, look, this is certified. This is certified. This has a label. This has a label. Because I'm not selling you labels.
Right.
I'm selling you something we either grew, picked, packed, or purchased from another farmer that we can guarantee and back up that it's safe for your family, it's safe for your consumption. So we started this. I don't know if anybody remembers the amount of green beans I killed when I first started growing green beans.
Oh my goodness, yes.
I was in and out of like correction work and state work and different things, done some electrical work, and it's time to get back into farming. So I'm trying to grow a little thing of green beans and some collard greens, and I killed more than I could produce. So this all started with me getting back into farming because my daddy's a farmer, my grandpa was a farmer, my great-grandpa was a farmer, to grow vegetables in my yard for my family, to grow collard greens for the people that lived in my town of Pahokee and Belgrade, and to sell at local markets. It is expanded to what we have, so you reap the benefits of us growing for us. And if you don't have a farmer that's eating his own food, that is growing for his family,
Yep.
you need to ask yourself why and where's he getting his stuff from? And that's where you want to get your stuff from. Because we grow for us, you get the benefit because I don't want to kill my wife. I don't want to kill my kids. I don't want my kids getting cancer and ADHD and all the stuff that comes with all the toxic poisons that are being allowed in food. So because I can guarantee to my family, hey, when we say never ever, we mean never ever. If we have a sick animal that we have to treat, we isolate it and we don't harvest it until a certain time period where we can guarantee people that there's no antibiotics and no steroids and nothing. Well, we never use steroids, but no antibiotics in this animal. The medicine took its course. The animal is healthy and well, and now it's been long enough that we can harvest the meat and eat it ourselves and sell it. So you have to have a farmer in your life that cares about his own family and what he puts in his body. And then he can pass that on to you. So Organic Meats, Morris Family Farms, we are those people. We ship all over the country, anywhere in the United States of America. 407-402, you're going to put the number up. 407-402-5686 is our number. Call, texting is best because we're busy. And our 13-year-old child that we use child labor laws on is doing all of our phone answering for us. We have a website announcement next Wednesday on next Wednesday show. Guys is finally here. But that announcement will be next Wednesday on next Wednesday's show. It just goes on and on and on about the crap that they put into it. People wanted to ask, do we have time? Can I go 5 more minutes, everybody? Y'all mind? I had another person ask me why meat is so high. And I really need you to listen and understand this. They wonder why is meat so high? Are farmers price gouging us? Are they taking advantage of us? Why can't we get cheaper meat? Well, you can think of President Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was going on before him. Trump kind of stopped it in his first term, but then Biden ripped the doors off the barn in 2020. In 2020, he made a trade agreement with, it's called basically facilities. Let me write way to word this because they don't have the trade agreement. Oh, it's right here. The U.S. Meat Export Federation. Okay. So Biden made a trade agreement with this group of people in 2020, allowing pork, chicken to be exported to countries in the sum of, just so you know, $21 billion of U.S. agricultural goods through vegetables and meat go to China, Japan, parts of Russia, Mexico, other countries, right? And then we are left with the crap meat on a commodity big scale. The lower grade meats, our prime and our upper choices get exported. Our lower grade meats stay in America. So here's what happens. So by Biden allowing this trade deal, and yes, if you're a large meat packer, suck it up because you've been reaping the rewards off the backs of the American people for far too long. Tyson, National, BPI, and what was the other quote? Cargill.
Cargill.
All right, all of y'all can suck it. I don't care. I know a guy that listens to me out of Nebraska. He's like, the Nebraska farmers are dying. I'm sorry for that. But if y'all would just do the right thing and allow this process to happen, it would be so much better for all of us. Imagine a world where instead of $21 billion worth of meat being shipped overseas, and the government now having to subsidize American ranchers and American farmers and small American packers to offset the high prices, because now the high prices are created because we sell the majority of our beef overseas. And then there's not enough for the Americans. So the government has to subsidize beef and vegetables and wheat and soy and cotton and everything else to keep us afloat. But imagine if we started selling American beef to Americans and American feed to Americans and American fertilizer to Americans, and we stopped providing great food for the rest of the world, and we took care of ourselves, our prices would come down. It would hurt at first. Yes, it would. And you'd have to grit and bear it. But over time, Americans supporting Americans would lower the price, but it would also lower the price of production for the producers because they wouldn't have to export stuff across the world. They could sell it in their own backyard. Nebraska farmers could sell in Nebraska. Florida farmers could sell in Florida. And yes, interstate compact, we sell all over the country to each other. But this debacle that they built, this circle jerk of subsidies that they built, and they manipulate us through all this marketing to think it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. But it doesn't have to be that way. So start thinking and understanding America first. This is America. We should think about America. We should support American farmers. We should not get the hind teeth. And that's basically what's going on. Other countries get the best of our best. And then we get the hind teeth, bottom grade crap. Yeah, there's a little bit of problem in the grocery store, but not a lot. And then we have to pay high dollar for it to offset their losses and their subsidies. Does it make sense to anybody else besides me? Huh?
No.
So anyways, couple judges out there still pushing the Biden administration deal, still pushing a very left-leaning operation. There's a lower court judge that just upheld a lawsuit telling the U.S. Department of Agriculture they have to bring back all the temporary and probationary employees that they let go that weren't doing anything. All right, they were just running around messing with mom and pop operations. So a lower court judge just ruled that it was unconstitutional. They didn't give them their fair 60-day notice. Another judge is putting a stay against some of Trump's orders and Doge's order. It's just, and they cry about Trump's appointees. And the reason they do is because they understand the power of judges. Okay. And they know that if they can get as many left liberal comedy judges in and get them seated where they can't be unseated, that they can keep their hooks in our constitutional republic and continue to cause disarray and disorder. Anyways, those are my thoughts for today. I kind of ran short on time, so I kind of shortchanged the judge's story, but look up these judges.
I'm going to run to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Look up these judges. How do we end the show? I'm done.
You're going to just hit in when you're done?
All right. So look up these judges. I'll do a couple videos on them. Follow me, subscribe, like, share. Organic Meats, More Sterling Farms. That's our place that we work out of. Between the Ribs is where we run our mouth at. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for watching us. Until next week, stay crack-a-lackin'.